Welcome to the Liberating Joy and Learning Podcast. I'm Robert Beckshan, and today we're going to be discussing Oliver and Rachel DeMille's A Thomas Jefferson Education. About 25 years ago, this book laid the foundation for how we homeschool our children. As we mentioned previously, the 7 keys of great teaching helped pave the way for 7 primary lenses that help us make great learning happen.
In Chapter 1, the DeMilles claim, greatness isn't the work of a few geniuses. It is the purpose of each of us. How can we settle for anything less than the best education? How can we tell our children that mediocre education will do when greatness is available? Close quote. Just as we said in our very first podcast, if great teaching can happen through orderly principles, then great learning can too. This world is full of so many amazing things to learn. We need an equally amazing process for doing that. So what amazing things do you want to learn?
Well, I think we've discussed that many times with this podcast. I want to learn to play the guitar. I want to learn how to disc golf effectively. I want to be a better landscape architect. You know, all these things are things that I want to better myself on.
That's great.
What about you?
I want to learn not to be scared.
Okay.
And that's what I wrote down today. Now, yes, there's a lot of things I want to learn. And,
right.
And I have a job at the community college, and I love learning how to do that advising job. Right. I love helping my children. I love serving at church and learning about leadership there. But today I wanted to learn how not to be scared and
right.
and fearful of craziness that the world, throws at me. And also to act confidently and humbly in any situation. So even when things are messy with coworkers or at church or whatever, right. I want to learn to be confident even in those situations.
Cool.
So.
All right. Well, whether or not we pursue learning in a formal setting or on our own, the principles are the same. The DeMilles explain, all education boils down to 2 things: the student putting in the work to educate himself, and the teacher getting the student's attention long enough and deeply enough to get him started and help keep him going. If anything, learning primarily motivated from within needs this even more. Furthermore, great education means self-education, but at some point it must also mean having a great mentor. Mentors offer us something new, something different than we find on our own, and we need someone who can truly stretch us and help us achieve the learning that only mentors can help us achieve, and mentors open up joyful new vistas for us that we would never have considered for ourselves. So we want you to think, how could a great mentor help you reach your amazing learning claims?
So, I when I listed some of the things I want to learn recently, a lot of what I do to overcome fear and things like that is just things to think about. But mentors are really good at saying, okay, here's some great things to think about, but also here's the next best action for you. They're really good at moving beyond that paralyzing frustration, whatever, and then choosing an action that will keep those principles alive in you and help them become more real and easier to turn to when you're struggling. Right.
Like I stated earlier, I want to learn to play the guitar. I want to play disc golf better. I want to be a better landscape architect. And as far as those 3 main learning goals that I have, 2 of them I've had some really good mentors. With disc golf, our son, he's a whole lot better than I am, and he's helped both of us.
Yes.
In my professional life, I've had 2. I'm trying to think back. I've had 2 people that I really look up to as mentors. My first boss, who really inspired me a lot and gave me a lot of. He gave me my chance to get going when nobody else would, and so and it was really cool the relationship we had. And then my current boss are both great mentors. They have a lot of knowledge, and their goal is to share that knowledge with other people. They don't hoard it. They don't meet it out sparingly. They want to share what they've learned, because when they do that, other people around them get better, and then they can get better as well. So it's not just the knowledge that a mentor has, but it's his willingness to share. That's what makes a good mentor.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah.
When I read A Thomas Jefferson Education for the first time, quite a bit of it really resonated with me. But what really spoke to me at that time when I had young children was the 7th key of great teaching, you, not them. In that key, they claim that the best mentors are continually learning and pushing themselves. The most effective way to ensure the quality of their education is to consistently improve your own. Just make the commitment and lead out. This truly liberated my learning. I realized that that claiming my learning could and did help me do the work to truly inspire my children. Tuning into this learning season would and did bless my children to see how to learn, and working with this resistance did set the example of working hard at gaining an education.
Right.
So what impact will your learning claims have on others? So you've listed a bunch.
Right.
How will those affect the people around you?
Well, because of where I'm at in my career as far as a landscape architect, I'm doing the same thing. We have a lot of people in my office that are a lot younger than I am and don't have as much experience. And so as often as I can, I try to share them, because I've been doing this for a very long time. I've learned a lot of things. There's still a lot of things that I need to learn to get better, but there's a lot of information that I've gained. And by sharing that with other people and helping them, it opens avenues up for me, because they'll have a different perspective on things than I do, and they see things differently than I do, and that helps broaden my understanding as well as theirs.
Right.
And I also wanted to say, getting back to with our children, you did all the formal education stuff, and I was thinking about this as we were preparing for this podcast of what was my role with our children, and I look back on it, and I was the hands-on, getting dirty in the mud work example with them. And so I at least I hope, with cracking the whip to mow the lawns and pull weeds and clean the house and all those other things, that they learned to take pride in what they're doing, even though it may be mundane.
Right.
That those things do have value.
Anytime we make a learning claim, it's going to impact the people around us.
Right. Because
we are going to be more courageous, more outgoing, more intense, more intentional with our learning. And that's something that people sense. They can just tell, the people that I am around on a day-to-day basis, I can tell those that are anxious to learn.
Right.
They are just different people. We talked in the last podcast about Brené Brown, and they're wholehearted. Right. I think wholehearted people are always looking for opportunities to learn. Right. And you can just tell those people, right? So anytime you intentionally learn something, you're sharing that love, that mindset. We talked about mindsets before. Right. It's all tied in together. You're sharing that with other people. Right.
Exactly.
So, I can't begin to describe the impact that these principles from the DeMilles had on my learning, and therefore that of my children. We hope that you're finding great sources in our podcast and in your life. Everyone has opportunities for learning and growth that help with your amazing learning claims as well. And if you have suggestions of topics or books related to learning liberated principles that you'd like us to discuss, we'd love to hear about them. Next time we'll discuss another author, and hopefully we'll have some guest speakers coming up. We'll see. Right. Anyway, but in the meantime, send any questions or comments to learningliberated@gmail.com, or share with us in our Learning Liberated Facebook group. And if this episode spoke to you, share it with someone else.
Thanks.